Welcome back, KastKing viewers. Today we are going to be getting out and testing the brand new KastKing Swimbait. Now this thing is new to the market. It's available in 2 different sizes and a large assortment of colors, and it looks pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. It's got some fine details. They look very, very realistic and definitely like something that'll get hit. And here in Texas, everything's bigger, right? In Texas, including the bass, including the baits. So it is a great place to test out these baits and show you guys the capabilities about what these things can do for you, and if you guys are interested in picking them up, how to actually use them in general. So without further ado, guys, I'm gonna grab my gear, head out there on the water today, and try to show you a little bit more about these brand new KastKing baits. Let's get out there. All right, guys, so we just got out here on the water. We're about to test out this bluegill glide right now. I also have a few other baits right here in front of me that you guys can take a look at. Once again, these are all going to be available at KastKing.com. The setup that we are actually going to be using today is a brand new setup for myself. It is a KastKing Spirelli rod and a cat spin. I believe that's how you say that. I'm not too good with words like that, but it is my new KastKing Swimbait combo. Now this is going to be sort of a budget-friendly combo. This is a 300 series reel, so it's a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier. I'm throwing 25-pound line, and this is sort of a extra heavy-duty rod. But enough talking, guys. Let's go ahead and start fishing and show you guys what these lures are all about. Once again, this is going to be the bluegill pattern that we are throwing today. This thing is going to be about 2 1/4 ounces, and I believe 4 to 5 inches long. I'm not exactly sure. I don't have the box right in front of me. And we're throwing it again on that Spirelli setup. Just going to get on out there and see how this thing swims. It's a glide bait, so I typically fish these a little bit slow. Kind of crank the reels and let the bait kind of do the talking for you. I don't want to move it too fast. You want to leave these baits in the strike zone long enough for these fish to not only notice it, but attack it. So we'll see if we get going. Oh, it's getting a little sporadic. I like that. Wow, it does swim pretty sporadic. I might, honestly, I have a clip on it right here. I'm going to take that clip off and see if it swims a little bit different. All right, guys, we took the clip off. Let's see if it swims a little bit different. It was tweaking out a little bit for me. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Oh, there's already a fish on it. It's another bluegill. That's funny. Work around these shallow edges where there's a little bit of shade, some nice vegetation lines, and see if these guys are hugging along these shallows. Thing pivots real nice, man. I like it. It's pretty good. It's short, little stocky movement, which is good for ponds like this. Just, it's like it's searching, going back and forth, like it's dying. And that's what you want in these baits. It's gonna imitate these pond bluegills here. And on top of that, we got that big boy bass version if we ever want to imitate some of these big boys that might be in a bed. Oh, it's kind of just floating. Okay. It floats. I thought it sunk at first. This thing's just floating on top of the water. It's as I crank it down, it sinks. I like that a lot. That's nice. I can kind of do what I want a little bit more with it. Keep it on top of the water. Let these fish come up to it and really think it's a fish dying on top. Get some easy bites. That just changed the game right now, guys. Pause it, wait for it to come back up once I crank it down far enough. See how it looks burning it in kind of fast. Oh, that looks really good fast. I like that. Okay, so we're learning things. It looks good fast. It floats and has a pretty good searching glide motion. I will say straight line worked better than with the clip. Not even cranking it, just maybe slowly reeling it. Just like that. Oh my God, that looks so good. Look at that. That's gonna get hit. That's gonna be the toss of choice. This looks pretty promising right here. Got a nice patch of grass in the center. Let's see what we can make happen. I'm just gonna probably, with my luck, get a massive backlash or get hung up in the tree. Whew. There we go, guys. Our first bite on that KastKing Swimbait, working across that opening right there. Slowed it down. This guy just waked on it, and as you can see, took that thing for granted, and next thing you know, we got him on the bank. These things are working really nice if you work them real slow. Definitely drives the fish in. Got our first bite of the day. Let's get him back in the water. All right, guys, just got to our next spot. We're still gonna be tossing this bluegill pattern right now. I also have a bass one that we're probably gonna pull out here a little bit later. So we're gonna try to give this one a go a little bit longer. It seems like it does fairly well for smaller pond locations like this, but I know that that bass one will also work very well too. It looks like a realistic bass, and especially during this post-spawn season, you find anywhere where there's some fry hugged up, another bass rolling in there will definitely anticipate a strike. I think I see some fry right here. I'm just going to kind of short cast some of these areas, try to work this thing through here nice and slow. Little pauses, creating those wakes, acting like a bluegill stalking its prey from the edge. And the rod, once again, is a Spirelli rod. It's got that spiral little eyelet finish, so it helps you cast a little bit more accurately, and at the same time, get off that grass, reduce any backlash that you might be getting in the center. Ton of bluegill underneath the bridge right here, actually, so we're in the right spot to throw this thing. That's the thing about swimbait fishing too. Sometimes I always recommend giving it a few casts. Don't just, give it that one cast. You'll get some followers, and sometimes it takes a while to convince them. This thing works really well, man. I'm digging it. Got caught on the grass right there and pulls through fairly easy and nice. Oh yeah, that's a good bass. Right here. Let's go, baby. He fell in. Is he okay? Is he alright? He's probably right here, to be honest. Yeah, there he goes. He's right here underneath me. There you go, guys. Like I was just saying, fish the same spot a few times, you'll be rewarded. I kind of slung him up here a little too hard, to be honest. Hopefully he's okay. I'm just trying to make sure he's not in this grass so he can swim out of here nice and easy. But there we go, guys. Got that one, just letting this bluegill bug out in the middle, working it real slow, letting it kind of wake. It's our second fish on this thing, man. They really like it. I'm liking it too. Look at that pattern. Very realistic pattern. It's got that it looks like more like a male gill pattern. So the difference between the males and the females is the males typically have darker patterns. They have these more blue cheeks and they have that more vibrant orange belly. The females typically have like a greenish yellow belly. But to be honest, I'm not a fish specialist, so I could just be making all this up. But as you can see, they do catch bass. Just lost that one. Well, I'll count that one because he technically hit the bank. But there we go, guys. Second fish on the swim bait. Just working it in the open, real slow. Perfect cast. Oh, like I said, perfect cast. Try to keep it low because I don't want to lose another one. Ah, it's a little guy. It's a little guy, but I will take him, guys. Any fish is good right now. He came up and smoked that gill. I thought he was going to be a lot bigger, but hey, I will take him. It's better than no fish. Alright guys, so once again, fishing the bigger bait now. This is the MadBite KastKing swim bait kit trout glide bass pattern. Now, there is a awesome trout colored pattern that they have. I'm not going to fish that one today. Instead, I'm going to stick to this bass pattern because we have bass at this pond and not trout at this pond, and I typically like to try to match the hatch. This is also kind of a flat paint job like that bluegill that we're using a few minutes ago. But I'm hoping now that the sun's coming down, we're getting closer to about 7 o'clock, we'll get that evening bite and get some big bass targeting on some big baits, or maybe just getting some reaction strikes because they're pissed off that there's another bass up in their area. So we're gonna give it a go real quick, see if we can get going. Same setup, 25-pound line on that Spirelli and cat spin setup, so let's get after it. Here we go, guys. Bigger bait. I'm gonna go over the specs of it real quick before we cast it. So this is a 3-ounce 8-inch bass pattern trout glide bait by KastKing. So it is a bigger boy. 3 ounces, 8 inches, so anything that bites it is probably gonna need to be pretty big. Just using those reel cranks right now to bring it in. That's what you want from your baits, just to kind of have that searching, pivoting motion. Gets those other fish anxious and wondering like, what the heck is that bait doing? Why is it doing that? Is it dead? Is it trying to steal my spot? What is it doing? That's when you get those reaction strikes. This thing does really well. As soon as it hits the water, it just kind of glides. I'm digging that, man. Come over here and see if there's anything in these channels. Work these shallows real thoroughly. Come off the edge like a normal bass would. Never know what you're gonna get with these swim baits or where you're gonna get bit. So I like to fish them real thoroughly. Fish it along this grass line, just move it around, get a little sporadic and pause somewhere where a fish can come ambush it. Oh my goodness, last second, bro. Last second. What did I say? What did I say? Let's freaking go, boys. On the bass bait, on the bass bait. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Get that, guys. First fish on the big glide bait. I said we'll commit towards the later in the day, and as you can see, it paid off, man. Thanks for biting my bass. Until next time. Well, guys, to be honest, quite surprised we just pulled that bite off. Especially how shallow we were fishing this thing and how slow we were fishing this thing. Like, this is probably about a foot of water where that fish just bit. But like I said, there's a nice grass line, a nice area where these fish can just ambush anything coming by. They don't necessarily care what it is, especially when it's swimming in that really distressed, sporadic, searching, moving kind of motion. It replicates dying fish. Right before they die, they come up to the top of the water, they kind of pivot around, they don't know what to do, they don't know what's going on, and that's when they get destroyed by these big bass. As you can see, not a huge bass. He was rocking about 17.5 inches. Forgot to have my camera on for that. He looked to be about 3 pounds. I didn't get a weight on him either. I don't have my scale, unfortunately, but definitely a good fish, man. Just working it just like that. Nice and steady. Came up last second, rolled on it. Alright guys, so we got out here today, we tested the elements, we tested the big bait, we tested the small bait, we tested the swim bait setup, and all in all, man, KastKing is providing some of the best swim bait gear for the best prices. If you guys are interested in picking this up, you already know where to go. Get on over to KastKing.com. That's going to be it for today though, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, hopefully you learned a little bit more about these setups and these baits, and we'll catch you on the next one.